This is FYI on your TV, brought to you by Hometown News. I'm Kathy Botham, and I have got Robbie Teehan with me. And you are a composer and songwriter, but you go by the name the Gentle Sparrow.
Gentle Sparrow,
Gentle
yes.
Sparrow. So let's talk a little bit, because this is interesting, how you ended up in Perth. You've lived in some big cities, and you ended up in Perth.
Yeah, I'm from Oshawa originally, but I spent most of my adult life in Toronto, and then I moved down to Los Angeles and spent about 5 years there. And then in the pandemic, I kind of bounced around for a while, but eventually landed in Ottawa and spent a little bit of time there and realized I kind of wanted to break from the city and just started looking for places in the country. And you know, I was working online and everything was kind of going remote, so I was just checking everywhere. I thought maybe I'll go to Salt Spring Island, maybe I'll go to Nova Scotia, let me just see what I find. But then I found this property, which is an old church out in a little village outside of Perth, and I thought, well, that looks like a good place to set up a music studio and, you know, just get some peace and quiet for a while after all the chaos of the pandemic. So I made the move about 2 years ago.
So does that make a difference when you're writing songs, where you're at?
It really does, because there's no traffic noise, there's peace and quiet. I've got a big open space, so it sounds great, and I can go for walks in the woods and just let nature inspire me, and it's definitely helping a lot.
Wow, well, you've got quite the reputation. I'm just going to read all this too, because this is amazing. We've got somebody living here in Perth that has 4 Juno nominations, 8 Canadian Folk Music Award nominations. You have scored the 8-time Canadian Screen Award-winning film Scarborough, and that was premiered in 2021 at the Toronto International Film Festival. And you've also contributed additional music on 3 seasons of the TV dramas Elementary and 2 seasons of Jessica Jones. And you've also worked with some big name artists. And name some of the artists. I was reading them.
I used to play with a couple bands. I was a tuba player before I became an
Really?
indie folk singer. Yeah, so I have a classical background with that. But then, you know, when I was living in Toronto, I got involved in playing in kind of folk and jazz and world music scenes. And so I was a member of a band called Lemon Bucket Orchestra, a band called Heavyweights Brass Band, and another band called the Boxcar Boys. And between those 3, I played, you know, a lot of folk festivals and jazz festivals across Canada, and was very busy just kind of gigging, and played a lot of weddings and farmers markets, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So that was kind of my musician background. And then I got more involved in composition and in film scoring, and that's when I went down to LA for 5 years and got to work on those TV shows.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. And you've just released another, I call them album. I'm 63 years old. I call them album. It's an EP.
Yeah.
It's got 5 songs on it.
Yes.
So you wrote them all?
I wrote them all.
Okay.
I recorded 3 out of 5 of them in my church studio. And then the other 2, I got to work with a producer named Dan Hosh in Toronto. And he kind of helped me put them together. But they're all original songs, and I do all the singing and most of the playing on it.
So when you say your studio, you must have it, like you've got a recording studio.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's the old church that's been made into a beautiful like loft apartment, but I just moved all my gear in there, and I just record my music in there. So it's a pretty functional little home studio.
Okay. Now, can we talk about your EP, River?
Sure. Yeah.
You've got 5 songs on it.
Yep.
Talk about them. What's the inspiration from them? That sort of thing.
Yeah. So I started writing songs, you know, mostly. I was in a relationship with my partner, and she inspired me, and we did a meditation one day, and she said, like, I want you to imagine your future where you're as happy as you'll ever be. And I saw myself singing and playing guitar, and in my little, you know, visualization. And that's weird. I'm not writing any songs. I don't really play guitar. I used to when I was a teenager, and I realized at that moment that I've kind of been working a lot at lots of different things in music, but I never worked at songwriting, which was something I was interested in. So that's how the project was born, and I started writing a lot of songs basically to help work through some mental health issues and just kind of find, you know, some peace inside my heart and figure out how to grow personally. And some of the songs have kind of spiritual elements, and some of them are just kind of about relationships and about love, or inspired by nature. And that was kind of how the project evolved. And so these 5 songs, some of them are kind of personal growth oriented, and some of them are kind of more your typical kind of love song or songs about relationship. But it seems like everything I write seems to have this flavor of like, okay, I'm going to try to find a way to grow and become a better person. Like that is, I think, something that most of my songs have in common.
Excellent. Well, that's good. That's good. That's good too. And you've just released it?
Yes, it
You've
was
just released
released about a couple of weeks ago, and I was very lucky to receive some funding from Factor, which is an organization that funds Canadian artists, and so they supported the release and the production of it.
Okay, now you've got some dates. You're going to be playing around the Westport, Perth area,
Yep.
and you're going to be at Smith Falls at a couple of farmers markets, you said.
Yes.
And Bowie's. Is that where we're going to get your CDs, or how
You
do we
can,
get them?
yeah, if you can, I'll be playing Perth, I think, on the 27th, it's Saturday, at the Golden Arrow. And then in Smiths Falls, I'll be at a few of the farmers markets, and you can catch me there, or you can catch me at Bowie's in August. And I'm going to be in Westport at the Cove on May 2nd. So if you happen to find me there, you can grab a CD. You can go to my website, gentlesparrowmusic.com, and all the gigs are listed there and all the schedule. But it's also on Spotify. I know most of us are not buying physical CDs anymore, so I didn't print very many of them, but I know some people will like them. But if you want to check out all the songs, they are on streaming services. You just search for Gentle Sparrow, and you'll find me.
Okay, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Songwriting.
Uh-huh.
Songwriting versus actually performing.
Yes.
There's got to be a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of, not every singer is like we call them singer-songwriters, because it means you do both.
Right,
You write your
okay.
own songs and you sing them.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's some artists that just kind of sing songs, and then other songwriters write the songs
Yes.
for them. And
You do both.
I'm a singer-songwriter, so I typically only sing my own songs, and I only write songs for myself. I'm not really busy writing songs and sending them off to publishers and other artists. And there's plenty of people that do that, right? And there's plenty of people that are artists that like to take songs from other writers, and that's all wonderful. But for me, it's just, there's kind of a personal energy to everything I do, and so, that's why I do that. So there is a process of creating the song, and then creating the performance of the song, and then
Right.
recording it is another whole process too.
Absolutely.
So I just like to have my hands on every part of it.
And what was the first instrument you learned to play?
It was actually guitar
It
back
was
when I was a
guitar?
kid.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I grew up in a pretty musical house, and my mom was a huge classic rock fan and was a guitar player herself. And I got a guitar, I think, when I was maybe 11 years old, and my brother was a drummer. And then I got into the high school music system. I played the flute, and then I played the tuba, which was my main instrument. And I played piano as well, and I used that when I'm working
Wow.
as a film composer. But I kind of got back to the guitar when I started writing the songs.
And your favorite?
Oh gosh, I don't know if I have a favorite instrument, because I'm really enjoying the guitar right now.
Yeah.
Let's just say that.
Yeah.
The tuba, I don't really play much anymore, but the tuba was the instrument that kind of brought a lot of adventure into my life, and opened a lot of doors for me. So I had a lot of fun being a tuba player. So I guess I'll always have a soft spot for that instrument.
Well, thank goodness for tubas then.
Exactly, right? Yeah.
I thank you very much for joining us here today. To learn more about you, do you have a website, a Facebook
Yeah,
page?
I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube. You just search for Gentle Sparrow, or you can go to my website, which is gentlesparrowmusic.com.
That'll list where you're going to be playing
Yep,
throughout the summer.
exactly.
And,
And I'll be around. I'm not going on tour this summer. I'm just playing locally at farmers markets and a couple pub dates and some small festivals. And I'm just looking forward to being around and jumping in some lakes and rivers and enjoying the Ontario summer.
meeting more people too.
Exactly.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I'm glad I met you. Thank you very
Likewise.
much for coming here today. Robbie Teehan, better known as the Gentle Sparrow, the composer and songwriter. Is that correct? Did I
You
say
got
that
it.
right?
Absolutely.
Because
yeah.
you had a word in there last night. I looked it up, moniker, and I guess that's.
I guess you could say that my artist name or my moniker is Gentle
Moniker.
Sparrow. So
Okay.
when I perform, I take that energy on.
Oh, I love when I learn from people when I'm
There we go.
here on FYI.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Robbie.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.